Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Ladder Legends replay analysis. Today we got DJShmeeg versus AFA. This is a mech TvZ loss, so we're going to be going over it. It's on Last Fantasy. We got what do we call this? Cross spawns. This is like neighborly side-by-side spawns.
Additional support.
Center right versus bottom left. I don't know, what was this be? 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock versus 8 o'clock? Something like that. Alright, looks like Steven's going for a well-timed scout and going to be able to get the right scout off. Zerg player's also going for the Overlord scout, so they're gonna know where each other are very quickly. This is going to be a mech game, so we're going to be talking about mech philosophy over here. Alright, I like this. Reactor in the wall. You could put the reactor in the wall with the depots, but it makes no difference, right? It saves you a building if you get bane busted. So this wall is actually recommended. The only thing that it does is it slows down your transfer time of your SCVs all the way over and down the ramp to buy minerals. That's about it, though. Not really too big of a detriment. And it saves you a building. Like, his wall is already done. All right, so we're going reactor first. We have a SCV checking for a third base. So once we don't see a third here, we should be looking down here. There's actually a very fast third base. Zerg player does not have very many workers here. He also made 4 links because he expects a Reaper. Hung Tumor first as well. Very interesting. All right, we're going mech here. So we got 5 Marines, and then we're going to be seeing some Hellions. Very good. Scouted the third base as well. SCV getting all the info we need. The only thing we don't know is if he has a lair, if it's gasless, anything like that. I mean, we did see the single gas. My apologies. All right. 40 out of 46. We're getting our depot. Everything's looking good. We're getting concussive. Oh, we're doing what he called the Steven build, which is Marauders, Hellbats, and Banshees. So this is going to be an opener that's aimed on killing the third base and dealing with roaches. So let's go ahead and see. We're seeing some Marauders. Yep. Should be getting another depot. Very nice. So past this point, this is when you want to start making double depot. I would have much preferred to see a mule there, considering the depot just finished, and then we should go ahead and just instantly start another one for more info. But one thing about this map, like, the pillar's so close, we should most definitely kill this Overlord if possible. Nice. Very good. That actually supply blocks the Zerg, or it was going to. Overlord's just finished. Good for him. Alright, we should be moving out right about now. Armory done. Armory is completed. Second Banshee coming out over here. And then so we should be seeing third command center, and we should be seeing both of these lift and 2 more factories come down. I'd love to see a reactor on the starport. So the thing about this is the Zerg had huge vision of this, like vision of it for a long time. So it's just something that it's going to be a little hard to get damage done with it, but it's not impossible. Also, something else to note, in the natural of this game and the main base, the Banshees could have wreaked absolute havoc. I mean, they're still going to do very well here. Alright, we're going back. Zerg's only on 43 drones, though. He actually stopped droning quite a bit to be able to hold that, so works out. We still have 2 Banshees. The 3 factories coming down. Let's see, when did these factories go down? So it was after we were up on this ramp. So with the third command center, we should have thrown the 2 factories down already immediately. Like, as you're leaving, you could lift both of these off and throw down your factories on top of the tech labs and have these be making other add-ons for you. We're making other units, though, which I don't necessarily hate. Right, taking our extra gases. Third command centers, 3/4 of the way done. Now let's take note of our spot. The Zerg is slightly ahead. He's got access to 8 more mineral patches than we do currently. He however skipped a lair, or not skipped, just didn't get a lair to be able to hold that. So as far as tech-wise goes, you were actually quite ahead. The only thing that I would have loved to see here is that we would have started +1 armor at least, but +1 weapons or armor already. I wouldn't minded seeing armor since we have some air units as well, but so it's also recommended that you expand further away from the Zerg. That way it's not like it's super, his creep's already over here, right? It's super easy for him to get up here. This guy's interesting the way he's spreading his creep. He's spreading it like 2 feet away every time. Very odd. All right, is he gonna see the Banshees coming across? He does. With 4 Banshees, you can just kill a Spore. Nice Ravager kills. We have a lot of cash, though. Alright. We have our 3rd base landed. We're lacking some SCVs. It's 8.5 minutes. We should be at our 77 by now, so this means we have missed a few SCV cycles this game. 4th base coming down. Alright. Transferred all of our workers. Did we transfer too many? We are undersaturated on the natural and the main base now, so ever so slightly, but we still means we transferred a few too many. No reason to have inoptimal mining, right? So Berserker's 4th and 5th base have gone up uncontested. Actually, he's grabbing a 6th base now as well. Alright, we see the Corruptors are out, so this should prompt us to maybe make some Thors, just in case of potential and inevitable Broodlords. We're still making 1 Marauder at a time, which I find very interesting. Marauders are going to take precedent over everything in the command card, which is why I normally wouldn't recommend it. Morphing a planetary here. This base would have been much better being a planetary over here, that we would have actual access to this. Instead, we're going to spend another 71 seconds building another command center over here, so we'll get the base in the end, but it's still one of those things where it's like, I'd rather have this be that base and then you just put another command center down here. All right. 176. Looks like we're going to get ready to move out. Hive's about to finish for the Zerg, and 1-1's not quite... if we were to move out like right then, 1-1 wouldn't have been done, and it would have been a pretty decent timing, actually, but now 1-1's going to be done for the Zerg. Microbial's also going to be finished. They're going to be infestors out on the field. It's going to be a little rough here, but... So here, what we don't want to see is an unsiege of all the tanks. We want to see you unsiege part of them. There we go. Look at that. A couple tanks at a time. Kill the base. Zerg has a lot of bases to be able to transfer to. Nice. We have 17 tanks doing nothing over here. Honestly, just A-move this. Yep. Very good. And then here, the game looks like it's most definitely over. See, this game goes on for another 6 minutes, though. So notes from this game. Let's not miss any SCV cycles, if possible. Let's get our 2nd and 3rd factory as we're moving out with the push. And then 4th base on you could have just done 4th base on location. I also recommend using the Banshees to try to keep him off like 4th and 5th bases if possible. Those are the big 3 recommendations I have. Other than that, I mean, you're playing pretty well. You maxed out, you pushed. You're not unsieging all your tanks at once. It's looking pretty decent. Blinding Cloud. Okay, so you definitely just want to spread out the tanks a little bit, of course. So you want at least 1 or 2 Thors to kill the Vipers, otherwise the Vipers are just going to be able to attack with impunity. Okay. Oh, those are ultras about to pop. So it looks like he might actually push you back. Maybe. Yep, with the blinding clouds, the ultras actually do push you back. I thought this game was super over. So you might be like, how could you have ended that game? Let's go back just a little bit, real quick. When we're here, we should go, like, yeah, I don't mind you going for this. Actually, let's see. I want to go back to before we lost everything here. So we went up this ramp, and then a bunch of ultras pop out, and the ultras are T-posing on you, because Last Fantasy is kind of like bugged like that. Everything morphed into Hellbats would have been nice, slightly better spread tanks, and then all of our tanks being in the fight, or these guys moving over to the upper sides, killing the bases. Right now, the problem is that we have no knowledge of these bases, so you're over here probably thinking he's on one single base, when in reality, his income's actually more than yours. He's building a ton of ultras, so Mass Thor or Mass Tank will be fine here, but Mass Thor is probably better. So we're lacking Blue Flame. This should be your indicator that we're lacking Blue Flame. The T-posing ultras.
Mineral field completed.
Nice, killed some drones there. He killed 55 this game. I mean, everything's looking pretty good. It's one of those games where we definitely still could have moved out again already, though. So this is really bad. This is 6 siege tanks in one single blinding cloud. Like we cannot be having that happen. Otherwise, you are gonna just straight up lose fights like this. Like now, look at that. That's 3 blinding clouds, and we have a grand total of 13 out of 16 siege tanks rendered in like unusable now. So we just got to spread the tanks a little better, my friend. Also, we definitely were leaving too early. If this is the leave point, we definitely left too early. And what I mean by that is look at this. Look at the supply. He just started 6 ultras, but before that, our supplies are dead even. GG, well played. I mean, fair enough. I understand. I understand why we left to an extent, but man, it really is a shame to see you lose that game, considering how far ahead and how far you were able to push in right there. Those blinding clouds were brutal, very brutal. So we just got to work on spreading our tanks and not unsieging, trying to siege more preemptively. You think he's going to fight you, try to not be in the middle of sieging as the fight is happening if possible. Hopefully these tips help, Steven. I really thought this was going to be a win for you, actually, when you submitted it. That's why I jumped the gun there a little bit. If you have any questions, you know, of course, I'm always around. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do enjoy, check out Ladder Legends for more curated coaching content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!